Lazada bonus.
Shop on 11th November.
Lazada bonus.
Shop on 11th November.
Hi, this is Nightline and I'm Muhammed. I'm Hamdan. News making the headlines. BM denies any pact between BN and PH to form government. And LRT disruption due to automatic train control electronics malfunction. Good morning. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has denied that there had been discussions on a Barisan Nasional BN and Pakatan Harapan PH partnership to form a new government after the 15th general election GE15. He said such discussions would need BN's top leadership to make a decision on the matter. However, it has not happened at all.
Keputusan besar seperti ini parti yang perlu buat keputusan. Kita tak boleh individu untuk membuat keputusan nak PKR ke, nak Perikatan Nasional ke, nak PH ke, tak nak itu, tak nak ini. Parti yang buat keputusan.
Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri told this to reporters during his walkabout in Alor Gajah Melaka on Wednesday. However, he acknowledged the need for a coalition government if no one party obtains a simple majority. On rumours that November 18th to be announced as a special public holiday and that the salary for civil servants will be paid on November 17th, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the matter would be announced soon. Earlier, it was reported that the government was considering declaring November 18th as a special public holiday to allow Malaysians to return home to cast their votes. At another event in Johor, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri wants Johor to return to being an UMNO and Barisan Nasional BN stronghold and contribute to the coalition's victory in the GE15. The Prime Minister said previously Johor had often been referred to as an UMNO and BN bastion. What more with the party's origins taking root in the state?
Dan saya pernah katakan dalam ucapan sewaktu merasmikan UMNO bahagian. Saya katakan kalau Johor tumbang, maka seluruh negara akan tumbang. Bukti jelas, apabila Johor tumbang, Malaysia pun tumbang. Dan sebab itulah, Johor mesti memastikan Johor boleh kembali menjadi kubu kuat UMNO dan juga Barisan Nasional di negara kita. InsyaAllah, dengan kekuatan Johor, seluruh negara akan kekal di bawah Barisan Nasional.
He also said since BN's huge victory in the Johor state election in March, there has been much progress achieved in the state under the leadership of Johor BN Chairman Datuk Hasni Muhammed and Menteri Besar Datuk On Hafiz Ghazi. In terms of investment in Johor, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said when Pakatan Harapan PH ruled, they were only able to attract 12 billion ringgit in investments, causing Johor to fall to 6th or 7th place compared to 60 billion ringgit investments attracted under BN, making Johor the top state in terms of investments in the country. Now, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said that BN's candidate for Sungai Buloh, Khairi Jamaluddin, is qualified to be Prime Minister. The incumbent Borough Member of Parliament said it is not impossible for Khairi to be appointed to the post in the future if he receives support and endorsement from UMNO and BN.
Bukan sekarang dikatakan, akan datang. Dan memang dia layak untuk menjadi PM akan datang. Kalau kita menang dalam pilihan raya, dapat sokongan dari parti, tentu saja KJ salah seorang yang layak untuk diangkat menjadi Perdana Menteri satu masa nanti.
Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri told this to reporters at a gathering with the people in the Air Hitam parliamentary constituency in Johor on Wednesday. Also present were MCA President Datuk Seri Wee Ka Siong, who is the incumbent Air Hitam MP, State BN Chairman Datuk Hasni Muhammed, and Menteri Besar Datuk On Hafiz Ghazi. Johor was the first state to be visited by the Prime Minister since the GE15 campaign officially kicked off on Saturday. Earlier, Khairi had shared his future plans to become Prime Minister with the voters in Sungai Buloh. He urged the voters to give him the mandate on November 19th, thus opening a new chapter for himself and the Sungai Buloh parliamentary seat, at the same time championing issues for the people in the constituency.
Saya kena buktikan di Sungai Buloh ini dulu. Kalau orang Sungai Buloh sokong saya boleh maklumkan kepada orang parti. Saya datang ke kandang naga, 26,000 majoriti. Saya menang kerusi untuk Barisan Nasional. I want to lead the party and I want to lead the country now.
Khairi, who is facing a 7-cornered fight in GE15, said this when speaking at a ceramah held at a community hall in Saujana Utama on Tuesday night. However, he was quick to add that the time was not now, as Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob would be BN's candidate for the post when the coalition wins the polls. Sungai Buloh has been seen as a stronghold of PH after defending the seat for the past 3 terms. Incumbent R. Sivarasa won the seat in GE14 with a majority of more than 26,000 votes. The light rail transit LRT service between the Kelana Jaya and Ampang Park stations has been suspended for 7 days since 6 a.m. on Wednesday for passenger safety reasons and to identify the root cause of the service disruption. Prasarana's Chief Executive Officer Muhammad Azharuddin Matsa said the cause of the disruption to the Kelana Jaya LRT line's automatic train control system, ATC, has yet to be identified. Muhammad Azharuddin said Rapid Rail is being assisted by a special team from the Thales Group original equipment manufacturer OEM from Toronto, Canada, that is expected to arrive on Thursday to look for a short and long-term solution to the matter. This encompasses tests of the existing equipment and software.
Kami telah mencari penyelesaian tapi tidak menjumpa root cause. Kita menunggu pakar-pakar daripada Canada, OEM untuk hadir dalam sehari 2 ini, esok akan tiba. Dan we need a bit more time to be able to assess what is the problem and find the root cause and then test out our trains in a sustainable manner. So sebelum kami start operation balik 16 stesen ini, we want to make sure that we are able to run the train safely and permanently. Kami tidak mahu kita start operation pagi, petang kita terpaksa stop the services.
The Kelana Jaya LRT services will only operate from the Gombak station to the Damai station as well as Lembah Subang station to the Putra Heights LRT station. All Kelana Jaya LRT services will end its operations earlier at 11 p.m. on Wednesday to November 15th to give the engineering team more time to carry out the repair work. Prasarana is also looking into how it can compensate and refund affected passengers. It is estimated that some 200,000 passengers use the LRT service each day. Meanwhile, Transport Minister Datuk Seri Wee Ka Siong has asked Prasarana Malaysia Berhad to update the public periodically to provide information on all developments relating to the LRT service disruption. Elaborating on the matter, he said aside from assistance from the technology owner of the automatic train control system, Thales, experts from Istanbul, Turkey, are also being flown in. The experts involved need to find the cause within the next day or two, as it involves a technical problem, and they may also need to look at other aspects.
Apabila mereka telah memberitahu saya tidak dapat mengenal pasti di mana perginya train yang berada di tengah-tengah, saya kata no way. Itu tidak boleh kita mengambil sebarang risiko. Zero defect. Kita tak boleh. Jadi kalau selagi tidak dapat membuat troubleshooting, tidak dapat menyelesaikan masalah tersebut, maka terpaksa kita buat satu keputusan yang memang tidak dikendaki oleh rakyat lah. Maksudnya memang a painful decision.
He has also instructed the Ministry's Secretary-General, Dato' Isham Ishak, the Land Public Transport Agency, APAD, as well as Prasarana to find the best solution to the problem. He stressed that the time has come for Prasarana to look at scheduling for periodic maintenance work, as well as to adopt a more dynamic system that prioritizes safety.
mandat kembali ke tangan rakyat. Kepercayaan dan keyakinan. Kini masanya memilih kerajaan teguh dan mampan. Pilihan anda kami sampaikan. Mandat rakyat PRU 15. Komprehensif dan terkini. Hanya di TV3.
The Selangor government has declared a public holiday for Friday, November 18th, a day before polling day, to make it easier for voters who need to return to vote in their hometowns. In a statement, Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari said following automatic voter registration and the lowering of the voter age limit, Selangor has the highest number of voters in Malaysia at 3.68 million people. He added that the decision would be gazetted after being approved by the state government meeting next Wednesday. He said the state government also hoped that a similar holiday would be announced nationwide to enable the people to go out and vote in the November 19th general election. Meanwhile, the Negeri Sembilan government also followed its Selangor counterpart in declaring a state holiday on November 18th. Moving on, Perikatan Nasional PN had in principle agreed to an understanding with Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS to not contest in Sarawak for the 15th general election GE15. Parti Pesaka Bumi Putra Bersatu PBB Deputy President Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said the understanding was made following several meetings between the top leaders of both coalitions. According to Dato' Amar Awang Tengah, despite PN had broken its promise and fielded 4 of its candidates in Saratok, Lubuk Antu, Batang Lupar and Bintulu parliamentary seats for GE15, GPS had no problems in facing them as any party can contest in a democracy.
Siapa saja yang melawan kita, kita lawan. Sebab itu kita letakkan semua 31 parlimen, kawasan parlimen, kita letakkan calon kita. So far so good. To all our campaign, the response is very overwhelming. So what we need to do is just to keep our momentum. Itu yang penting.
Meanwhile, PBB Vice President Datuk Seri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said PN should have continued the agreement made before the 12th Sarawak state election in order to preserve the good relationship between both coalitions.
Tapi kita melihat Tan Sri Muhyiddin sebagai kawan. Dan saya tahu juga bahawa Tan Sri Muhyiddin dengan Premier kita memang kawan rapat. But then this is demokrasi. Kalau mereka nak bertanding di Sarawak, kita terima, walaupun dengan hati yang berat sikit, we will face them.
Both Dato' Amar Awang Tengah and Datuk Seri Abdul Karim were speaking at a press conference in Kuching after the launch of Sarawak Fair 2022, which will be held in Singapore. Earlier, PN Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin had denied breaking the promise made to GPS Chairman Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg that the coalition would not contest in Sarawak. He claimed that the agreement was only for the last state election and not for federal seats. PKR Deputy President Rafizi has called on Datuk Seri Tuan Ibrahim Tuan to give a more thorough explanation regarding the allegations he raised, claiming that the latter awarded a tender for a 2 billion ringgit flood mitigation project. Rafizi, in describing the response by the Environment and Water Minister on Monday, said it seemed as though the latter was washing his hands off the matter, aside from seemingly pointing the finger at government officials. On Tuesday, Datuk Seri Tuan Ibrahim, who is also past Deputy President, denied any misconduct regarding the matter and challenged Rafizi to lodge a report with the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission.
2 bilion, bukan sikit. Saya beritahu dia, kalau ada bukti, report kepada SPRM. Reportlah. Jangan buat fitnah macam tu.
At a press conference on Thursday, Rafizi rejected the minister's statement and said Datuk Seri Tuan Ibrahim had to provide answers relating to his role in appointing a company as a contractor for the Krubong Durian Tunggal flood mitigation project worth 578.6 million ringgit.
Jadi dia tak boleh nak kata I don't know, I don't interfere, I don't do, I let everything to the civil servants. That's the problem with politicians, Kalau semua jadi okey, they take the credit. Menteri yang cerdik, bukan civil servant.
The Pandan parliamentary candidate stressed that the document that lists the Sungai Langat Phase 2 flood mitigation project worth 2 billion ringgit is also a government document that is in the records of the Environment and Water Ministry, CASA. Still to come, mother and 8 children killed in building fire. The US Congress is still up in the air, with the Senate coming down to 4 key races, while Democrats and Republicans are still hanging on to hopes of winning a narrow majority in the House. Republicans began the night with a rout in Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis won heavily Latino and historically Democratic regions on his way to a blowout victory that could serve as a launchpad for a 2024 presidential run. In the hours that have followed, however, Democrats fought back when Democratic Governor John Fetterman defeated Republican Muhammed for the seat of retiring Republican Senator Pat Toomey in Pennsylvania. In the meantime, the battle for the House majority, one that favored Republicans, who is expected to benefit from high inflation, historical trends and friendly new district lines after 2021's redistricting, also remained unsettled. Finance took center stage at the COP27 climate talks on Wednesday, with UN experts publishing a list of projects worth $120 billion that investors could back to help poorer countries cut emissions and adapt to the impacts of global warming. After a year of meetings with stakeholders around the world, the experts released the initial list so that banks and others can assess the projects. A $3 billion water transfer project between Lesotho and Botswana and a $10 million plan to improve the public water system in Mauritius were among dozens of projects listed, including 19 in Africa. Getting money to low and middle income countries so that they can build infrastructure such as renewable energy plants needed to replace fossil fuels has long been a focus for the UN climate talks. But progress has been slow. In Turkey, 9 people, including 8 children, all Syrian refugees, died when flames gutted an apartment in Bursa late on Tuesday. According to authorities, the victims were identified as a mother and her 6 children, as well as her 2 nephews who were staying at the apartment temporarily at the time of the fire. The cause of the fire is not clear, but initial findings showed flames leaked from a stove inside the apartment, which then quickly spread across the small flat. The victims all died of smoke inhalation and was most likely sleeping at the time of the fire. An investigation is underway to determine the exact cause of the fire. An earthquake in western Nepal on Wednesday killed at least 6 villagers and injured several others as a tremor destroyed mud and brick houses in remote communities living in the foothills of the Himalayas. The magnitude 5.6 quake struck in the early hours of Wednesday, with the epicenter originating 430 kilometers west of Nepal's capital, Kathmandu. The deceased included an 8-year-old boy, a 13-year-old girl, 2 14-year-old girls, a 40-year-old woman, and a 50-year-old man. Meanwhile, in the southwest, tremors were felt as far as the Indian capital, New Delhi, and lasted for about 10 seconds. But authorities are not expecting large numbers of casualties, as the earthquake's epicenter appeared to be in a sparsely populated area around Kaptat National Park. Sadio Mane expected to miss FIFA World Cup after leg injury. Sports when we return.
Tidak betul.
Sport. Senegal star Sadio Mane has reportedly suffered World Cup heartbreak, having been ruled out of the tournament through injury just 13 days before it starts. The Bayern Munich forward was seen hobbling off the pitch just 20 minutes into their Bundesliga clash at home to Werder Bremen on Tuesday night. Assistant coach Dino Topmüller allayed fears over Mane's fitness after Bayern's huge 6-1 victory, saying the problem is not too serious, but boss Julian Nagelsmann admitted they will know more after a scan. According to a French news outlet on Wednesday morning, Mane has actually suffered a tendon injury and will not be fit in time to feature at the World Cup. If proven true, the news will be a huge blow for Senegal to lose their talisman superstar, with manager Aliou Cisse set to announce his final squad on Friday. In Group A, alongside the Netherlands, Ecuador and the host nation Senegal are a possible last 16 opponent for England, who play in Group B with Wales, USA and Iran. Earlier on Tuesday, champions Bayern Munich delivered a scintillating first-half performance to demolish visitors Werder Bremen 6-1 and open up a 4-point lead at the top of the table. Bayern's fifth straight league win, which included a Serge Gnabry hat-trick, equalled the Bundesliga record for the longest unbeaten run against one team, with Bayern having now gone 26 league matches without defeat against Werder. Sadio Mane contributed to Bayern's first goal when his shot was blocked into the path of teammate Jamal Musiala to score before the Senegal forward was replaced with Leroy Sané after 20 minutes. Bremen levelled soon after, but 3 goals in 6 minutes for Bayern finished off the promoted team's chances. Bayern also have the second best attack in the history of the Bundesliga, with 47 goals from 14 matches, one less than their run at the same stage in the 1976-77 season. The Bavarians are now on 31 points, 4 ahead of second-place Freiburg, in action at RB Leipzig on Wednesday. Union, who face Augsburg, are third on 26. Man pleads guilty to prostituting own wife. This and more after this short break. For staying with us. In Negeri Sembilan, a bank officer pleaded guilty in the Seremban Sessions Court on Wednesday to trafficking his own wife for sexual exploitation last month. The 35-year-old man gave the plea after he was charged with committing the offence before Judge Datin Surita Budin. According to the charge sheet, the accused allegedly prostituted his wife, also aged 35, at a hotel in Kuala Pilah on October 30th. The charge, framed under the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act, provides imprisonment for up to 20 years and fine upon conviction. At a separate court, the accused was slapped with another charge of living off entirely or partially on the illicit proceeds of the prostitution activities before Judge Rushan Lutfi Muhammed. The charge under the Penal Code carries imprisonment for up to 15 years, caning and fine if found guilty. Both courts denied bail and fixed November 21st for sentencing. Archaeologists in Italy have found more than 2 dozens of beautifully preserved bronze statues in Tuscany, in what experts are hailing as an exceptional discovery. Let's take a look at the 2,300-year-old statues as we wrap up Nightline this time around. With that, I'm Muhammed, Hamdan. Thank you for watching and have a great week ahead.